The former Marine accused of choking a homeless man to death on a New York City subway last week has officially been charged with second-degree manslaughter.
24-year-old Daniel Penny surrendered to authorities this morning in Manhattan. During his arraignment hearing in the last hour, the judge set a $100,000 bail. NBC News correspondent Lindsay Reiser joins us now from outside Manhattan Criminal Court, where the suspect was just arraigned. Lindsay, tell us more about the charge here, second-degree manslaughter, and how is Penny reacting to it?
So just shortly after noon, Penny surrendered here for his arraignment. And we did mention that $100,000 bond. He walked in with handcuffs. He walked out without those handcuffs because he paid $6,000 of that bond, and his parents guaranteed the rest. He has to surrender his passports within the next 48 hours, and his next court date is July 17th. But we did just hear in the last few minutes from the district attorney's office, Alvin Bragg releasing a statement saying after reviewing the facts and evidence of the case, they developed probable cause to arrest and arraign Penny, saying that they talked to witnesses, they reviewed the footage, and they reviewed the medical examiner's report. And Bragg concluding his statement with Jordan Neely should be alive today. We should mention we do have a statement from Penny's attorneys who we're going to put on the screen right now for you, saying he risked his own life and safety for the good of his fellow passengers. The unfortunate result was the unintended and unforeseen death of Mr. Neely. We are confident that once all the facts and circumstances surrounding this tragic incident are brought to bear, Mr. Penny will be fully absolved of any wrongdoing. Remember, it was on May 1st that Neely entered this subway car yelling, threatening, saying, "I'm hungry, ready to die." And that is when Penny put him in that lethal chokehold. Kate and Vicki.
Lindsay, what are we hearing from Neely's family attorneys?
So they held a press conference today, and they showed a picture of Neely in his cap and gown, saying this could have been any one of us, that he had family who supported him. He had dealt with tragedy early in his life, and he was battling his own demons. They also had this to say about the case.
Penny is getting a chance to rewrite what happened in the subway that day as time goes by. He's going to come up with more and more things to make himself look better, because that's the only way that he can escape the consequences of what he did. But I tell you one thing, he cannot rewrite how the story ends.
And they also added, Kate and Vicki, that today's arraignment is really the first step in their quest for justice. Back to you.
All right, NBC News correspondent Lindsay Reiser with us. Lindsay, thanks so much. NBC legal analyst Danny Cevallos joins us now here on set. Danny, I want to pop up that statement again from Daniel Penny's attorney. It says that Penny, quote, risked his own life and safety for the good of his fellow passengers. What does that tell us about what their defense might be if and when this goes to trial? And did Penny have a legal obligation to check in on the health and the well-being of the victim while he had him in the chokehold?
His defense will be self-defense, or in New York, as it's called, justification. And that is always permitted, not only the defense of yourself, but the defense of others, although that can be trickier factually because you have to reasonably believe that somebody poses a threat to a third person before you intervene. And the law allows you to be mistaken about your use of force, but that mistake must be reasonable. And you must actually believe, even if mistaken, that the use of force was necessary in that situation. Here's the key. In New York, it is the state, not the defendant, who must disprove justification beyond a reasonable doubt. So if you're just handicapping this, if you're a betting person, the odds right off the bat are in favor of the defendant.
And just quick to the second part of my question, did he have a legal obligation, Penny, to be like, are you okay, man?
No, there's no explicit legal obligation. The statute speaks more broadly in terms of the use of force must be reasonable. So when you're talking about somebody applying that force for up to 15 minutes, then the law implicitly says that as you continue to apply that force at minute 14, you must still have a justification, just as you needed one at minute 1. So while there isn't an explicit rule to check in, there is an explicit rule that it be reasonable throughout.
We got 20 seconds. What is it that the prosecution has to prove then?
Not only do they have to prove that he was reckless in applying this force, if and when he raises the defense of justification, they must also disprove beyond a reasonable doubt that this use of self-defense was reasonable, or in other words, not reasonable.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.